everyone, it's Cindy. I'm here with Friday book haul, and I still have very berry juice stained hands. If you saw my video from yesterday, you would know that I've been out mulberry foraging with my children. We got lots of mulberries. It was actually really great. They're so yummy. So I got a few books, half of which are from our local, actually I think almost all of them are from our local recycling center. So yeah, this is Every Creeping Thing, or The Man Who Buried a Mole Alive, and Other Peculiar Tales. This one isn't for cutting up necessarily. There is a few pictures in it, but it just sounds really interesting. It's really cool. Like, they talk about just different kinds of observations that are funny about different kinds of like animals and like their weird behaviors. Like, bats can catch and eat 175 mosquitoes in 15 minutes, that they practice promiscuity on a grand scale, and that the female spends her entire hibernation with the seed of several males, only ovulating when she wakes up in the spring. So there's some weird bat facts. And then sloths move like an animal filmed in slow motion, and it defecates once every 8 days, and it camouflages itself in the treetops by allowing algae to grow on its fur. Okay, so this video is just off with a bang, but it's a humor book. It's a nature humor book, so we all need to laugh a little bit, right? Okay, sorry about that. I've just got them behind me here. So next is super excited about this one. Rand Portfolio, the farm book. So if you're not familiar with Rand Portfolio, he is an incredible illustrator. He's responsible for the Gnome book and other books, like he did one on giants. He's done Woodland. I believe he's done a Christian one too, because I actually saw it, but it's not content that I would use. And he's just an incredible illustrator. Of course, my favorite book of his is the Gnome book. So let's take a look. This one is very much like the Gnome book, and it's been gifted in 1995. So what year is this book from? Probably the 90s, I'd imagine. We'll see as we get there, maybe the 80s. 94, reprint from 94. Originally from 1975. So yeah, it's farm images. And yeah, I had to pick it up. It's just, he is an incredible artist and illustrator. It has wildlife, lots of like pictures of people doing work on farms, and you know, just farmhouse kind of stuff. That's nice. So if you were into making, you know, farm journals, or like, you know, hometown journals, he also really he's very, so okay, that one's a little, okay, this is a little safer, sort of. So he doesn't shy away from the more, I'd say, clinical or sometimes kind of gruesome parts of life. He really illustrates reality, and as someone who grew up in a farming community, I have, you know, participated and experienced the birth of livestock, and you know, as you can imagine, it's not always rainbows. So he depicts a lot of stuff like that, even in his wildlife book, like, and even in the Gnome book. I mean, he depicts nudity. He's not afraid. He's a very like truthful kind of person. So that book is cool. And then this one I found, so like, I have never been a massive sci-fi fan, but I do really like H.G. Wells. I read a little bit of it in school, and I've just kind of wanted to read a little more of it. So I found this, The Collector's Book of Science Fiction, and you know, it's a loved book. I thought this was amazing. This little Golden Wings by Boris Vallejo, from the books of, it's like the funniest little book sticker thingy, Ex Libris or whatever label. And so what year is this one from? It's from Castle Books, 1986, and it has a bunch of his stories. So he's an interesting writer. He did The War of the World, which he's most, famous for, but this has The Country of the Blind, The Flowering of the Strange Orchid, Epirus Island, The First Men on the Moon, The Diamond Maker, The Story of the Inexperienced Ghost, The Empire of the Ants, all sorts of things. So yeah, just really cool, like, stories, and some pictures too, lots of pictures in black and white. So I think, when I have time, I'm going to try to do a little bit of this reading, because I haven't read a lot of science fiction. And then I found another book that I really need. I already have had this before, but I need it for more fairy journal ephemera making. So if you're looking for a good fairy book, this is a nice one. It's Shirley Barber's Fairy Collection, including a CD here. The CD, I have it somewhere in my house, not from this edition, but from the other one I got. But it's got some particularly beautiful fairy images in it. Just really nice. So I've used some for pages already, but this one I just want to use for ephemera making. It's got really beautiful images. And then this one, so all of this except for just this one book are all from my recycle center. So Portrait of a Country Artist, C.F. Tenocliffe, 1901 to 1979. It is a really beautiful book. So starts with that swan. It's from 1980. And it's this artist, Robert Tenocliffe, who's a nature artist. And he also did like landscapes. It's a book of paintings basically, and some history about his life and landscapes. Some really beautiful birds. He did a lot of nature study. So it's a nice book. There's black and white and color images of different sizes. Some nice owls. Our good friends, the Canada geese. Swans and landscapes. Yeah. Some birds of prey. Bunnies, and oh, look at those squirrels. How lovely. Oh, that's a nice black and white bunny book plate. That's a wood engraving. Some of my favorite art is wood engraving. That's a beautiful owl. Watercolor too. Those squirrels are nice too. Woodpecker. Yeah, so that's a nice book. And this one was one of the first books that I found today, and I was like, okay, someone has been donating good books. Flowering Plants of the World. Just a big green book, perfect to make a lap book from. Yay! So, what year is this book? This is 1978. So it's got lots of different kinds of pictures. Starts out this way, kind of explaining the basics of flowers. Very sciencey kind of images. Great little, like, stamp-sized little images. And then, as we get into the book, that's where the good stuff is. So, yeah, lots of pages like this. I should get rid of all these so I can spread this out. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sorry, it's a big book. Big book, small hands. But yeah, how beautiful, right? Every now and then you just find a cool book like this. I swear I would love to just have like the entire library of botany. It's like they're the best books. They're so incredible. So yeah, that's that book, Flowering Plants of the World. Then, I think I have one more back here. Oh yeah, so this one. This is Jan Messent Woolen Magic. So I used to do, and I probably still sometimes will do, a lot of freeform crochet, and I thought this was a really cool book. She's a fiber artist, and there's some things in here that really interested me. It's from 1989. So she's a teacher who does embroidery, knitting, crochet, writing, and illustrating. But it looks like she's into kind of more experimental stuff with crochet and knitting and like design work and texture and surface texture design. There's some, like, clearly some felting and like little, you know, crochet and knitting, and like, see how she's doing these illustrations to kind of plan out her projects. This is really good material for people who are looking to do textile or fiber art. I've, you know, been really involved in that in large parts of my artistic career. So yeah, this really appealed to me. I thought, what a cool book. There's a lot of artists like this that work in fiber that really inspire me, and this one is just one that I hadn't heard of before. So that is that. I think that's everything. And I just found something I forgot to show in Thrifty Thursday, so I'll show this to you. So I got this for $6 today from the recycle center. So at first I was kind of like, these are going to all be dried up, but like for $6 I was like, I'll give it a try. So yeah, they're not all dried up, they're mostly full, and they're all acrylic paint. What I am going to do is I'm going to turn them all upright though. This is a sparkle glaze. I don't know if it's any good, but I don't think they're particularly super old. They're not majorly expensive paint. They're all like deco art paints, but like I use a ton of this kind of paint in jelly printing, you know, with my daughter and whatnot. So yeah, it's a really great box of paint, all different colors. You can't complain about that, you know? So I will use it. It also has some what is this? This is, looks like a primer paint, or it's just another paint. Some big bottles of paint. Yeah, so just a whole bunch of paint and some glazes and sparkles. So yep, if you have a local kind of recycle center where people donate things instead of, you know, throwing them away, it's a good thing to get your stuff because it's good. And then one more thing I also forgot to show yesterday was that I found 2 rolls of wallpaper that are really cool. This one's very floral and highly textured, and I really like it. It's very nice. And then this one, you know, it's just dainty and very nice. So there's quite a bit of both of them. More of this one than this one. But yeah, I haven't bought wallpaper in a long time, and I think it would be nice to do some stuff with wallpaper. Okay, so that's it for me for Friday book haul and a few little bonuses. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you again soon. I hope that you're finding good thrifts and using your stuff up. So we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.